All right, guys, it's Newbie Prepping here, and we're doing this in a sort of podcast Skype call style. As everyone knows, we're pretty much in isolation. I'm not because I'm still working because I have to, but pretty much everyone else in the UK is still in isolation. Biggest thing to happen since our last video is the fact that what Mark said came true, and it's now officially considered a pandemic, which is something that should have been considered a long time ago.
Just going to jump in here and say what everyone probably already knows by now, but we filmed this video a couple of days ago, and because it's quite long, it's taken me a while to edit it. We are now what is being referred to as essentially a lockdown. So probably not the hardest prediction to make, but we still predicted it anyway. We were right about it. It's essentially a lockdown because Bojo didn't say it was a lockdown. He just said that only essential movement is allowed, only go to work if you can, if it's feasible, and basically social distancing is now complete social isolation, and police forces have been given new rights to basically send us back to our rooms because we've been naughty, because people have not been following the rules. Now this is what we've got. Let's get back in there.
So how are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Me and the family self-isolated right from the beginning, really. Just because the needs of family, we've got a high-risk child, so we're not prepared to take that risk, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Doing the right thing. Just sad that it took a while for other people to catch on, and that's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about today. One of the things is some people seem to be treating this like a holiday. I'm always seeing big groups of kids walking around ever since the schools closed, and obviously the parents are letting them out doing it. It's just completely disregarding everything that the government's telling us to do and basically what's logical to do. I don't personally understand it, but there we go. Can't stop them.
I get that the governments don't want to hit their economy too much, but it's going to take a hit no matter which way they really go. Yeah, I mean, if you look at Spain, they kept a news. It seemed like they kept a news blackout of the virus. Yeah, and they was more interested in their tourist trade for the summer, like their festival period, what they was doing. And now it's free fall for catching for the virus now. You know, if they locked down at the beginning, or set tougher quarantine procedures in at the beginning, most of these countries wouldn't be as bad as what they are. But Italy in the Alps, it's a school favourite for school trips. Again, they should have, when they saw this started to spread, they should have turned around and said, right, let's stop all international travel. And it would only have been a certain amount of. It would have been hit on certain fields. So on your tourists and travel would have been hit, but it might have helped the economy in other areas.
Yeah, too right. It's kind of funny as well. Other places seem to be taking action, but it seems like the UK are kind of taking their time in deciding what they want to do, and because there's a few countries in lockdown at the moment, and I'm already seeing rumblings on Facebook and like seeing statistics. I don't know if they're 100% accurate, of people saying, "Oh, we're catching up to Italy in terms of deaths, and we're doing it in like a quicker, manner, a quicker fashion."
Well, for me, it seems the government, the UK government, wants the herd immunity scenario. That's what they're going for, and they claim they want to try and get the herd immunity. They're saying about 60% of the population needs to have it.
Yeah.
But they're going on statistics saying that the RO value of this is like 2 point something. It's not. It's way higher than 2. You know, it's more like 4 plus. You know.
Yeah.
That would mean that we'd have to have a herd immunity of at least 80% of the population, and that's to do that in such a short period. It's going to be loads of deaths. The NHS is going to be bursting at the seams, you know, and you know you're going to have these big corporations asking for bailouts in one hand because the airlines, and then with their private health sector, what they have, they're going to be charging exorbitant amount of money, you know, to use their beds and their equipment because they're private, you know. And the government should just turn around and say, right, all private hospitals, you're being commandeered, you know. There's no such thing as profit over someone's life, you know. And you see some really good things about humanity, you know. I saw on the news yesterday that when all the restaurants shut down, one owner went in with his staff, started cooking all the meals, and he was taking them to the hospitals for the NHS workers. And so that's the good side. And then you've got the bad side where people go for greed, or even kids. There was a YouTube clip of kids over in England somewhere, like spitting on the elderly. You know?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, it's all just one big game to them, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, and I saw some video clips of people licking buttons and sneezing on handles and people where they would touch tables, and it's like, are you for real? You know?
Yeah, they're just taking all the panic and hysteria and just trying to make crappy prank videos out of it, or I don't know, just there's something wrong with these people. And what was that coronavirus challenge that you saw recently?
Oh, hopefully you'll be able to put the link into it. But it was some dumb blonde bird. Right? She was on an aeroplane and she licked the toilet seat. Yeah, and then went like it's like seriously, right? And then it just obviously she said she wanted to get that light factor and get her 5 minutes of fame. Well, that shows you how stupid you are. Yeah. And she said that she cleaned it for an hour before licking it. It's like, hello, you're on an airplane. They're not going to allow you to be in the toilet cubicle for an hour.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, so that is one stupid, dumb. I'm not going to swear, but you know, everyone knows what I want to say. You know,
Yeah.
There's a black guy doing it as well, and he licks it, and you can see his pulled face. Like it's like, seriously, you know.
Yeah.
You know, all what goes to my mind is a lemon. There goes another lemon. You know, one goes, and then all the rest go. You know, it's like the kids today think they know more. They think they know everything because they go to university. They've got a higher degree of education than what we did when we was at school. And it's like, well, we know more. We know what you went through, so we should be able to tell you what to do. No, you haven't lived it. You're still a young pup. You know, respect your elders and listen to us. If we say something, it's because we got experience. You've read it from a book. It doesn't mean to say that you've gone through it, you know. And often, like, now everyone's at home. It's a nice day, and the youngsters go out and say, oh, it's a nice day, I'm going out. Where all the older people try and stay in, they think they know better, and they go out.
Yeah. That's it, man. That's it. And it's them. They're going to be a bad influence, both in the present now, because it's going to make people. If anyone sees them like other kids, they're going to think, "Oh, well, they're going out, so why can't I?" And then, like when they're grown up as well, they'll probably have some sort of strange pride about, like, "Oh, in the great coronavirus scare of 2020." Me and my friends just went out all the time. We didn't give a damn, and we turned out fine. And then, like, so if anything happens in the future, people all just think like, oh, well, they were fine, so I'll be fine too.
Or it would be, oh yeah, we went out, we fought against it. Okay, we lost a grandparent, but you know, I'm still alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The old fallacy of like, oh, it doesn't matter if they've got underlying health conditions or if they're old. It's fine. We're young and healthy. It's okay.
You know, one day there's going to be a virus what attacks the young, you know, and they're going to be ones being scared about coming into contact. And you would see the older generation will still isolate themselves because they know what it's like. And it would be, oh, ain't the old so good? They're quarantining as well. Well, you know, should have showed respect now, you know, because one day it could be you, you know, or one day it will be them. Because if this virus is going to come back every year, eventually these young kids are going to get old, you know.
That's it, man. I don't know. These young whippersnappers. What can you do?
Yeah.
Well, in other news, something else that you predicted. You didn't actually say this in any of the videos, but you sent this to our little private chat group. And we spoke about it on the Newbie Prepping Discord as well. Link to the Discord is going to be in the description. And the logo will be flying around somewhere. You were talking about, and we all just generally spoke about how quickly people are going to start losing their jobs, and that even started happening a lot quicker than what I thought. I've got my own anecdotes that I'd like to share, where the boss who owns the place I work at, his brother or brothers, I'm not 100% sure, they or he owned a restaurant and a hotel, and both of which he shut down quite early. Like I think pretty much straight away when the government suggested all pubs and hotels closing in order to stop any spread. Like he didn't pull any punches. He just immediately shut it down. Gave everyone, like literally everyone that worked at these places, their P45s. And gave them the promise of being able to come back whenever it gets better. But see, the thing is like those jobs are sort of like luxury jobs, like luxury places, like where people go, like obviously to eat in a fancy restaurant or stay in a fancy hotel. Whereas the place I work is kind of a necessity because people will always need fuel, and I work in a fuel station. So I'm actually quite happy about that now because, unfortunately, I've even heard of carers. People think that like carers are safe, but I've heard of carers, carers losing their jobs, and that's one thing that I thought like would be 100% safe job to be in. But ever since I heard about that, and I know the people personally as well. This isn't just anecdotal evidence. This is something that I personally know. It's made me think how truly safe anyone's job is. I mean, obviously there are like some perfectly safe jobs, like higher positions where people are really necessary for the job, but it's worth thinking about, and it's kind of sad how a lot of people have already lost their jobs.
But the longer it goes on, job-wise, the worse it will be. It's good that the government's paying 80% of their salaries now, but it's wrong that there are some bosses who are going to take advantage of that. You got they're already asking for big bailouts for the airlines, and these are billionaires.
Yeah.
And the airlines is just a sideline for them, because it makes money, and then they would have other businesses where what will still be open and still viable, and they would just be creaming in, making different bits and pieces,
I think it's really weird how airlines, like you were saying, like billionaires who own these airlines, Flybe went really quickly, and British Airways have laid off how many, like thousands of workers. It's really crazy. Also, Carphone Warehouse, or the company Curry's PC World that owns Carphone Warehouse, they've laid off a bunch of people, and they say it's got nothing to do with coronavirus, but I mean, it's a bit coincidental. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, wouldn't put it past them that they've just decided to do this anyway. But I mean, at the same time, we are like in the midst of this coronavirus thing.
Some bosses out there will be taking advantage of this, and they'll be somewhat be doing it right, and it's like there's chemists in some parts of England which is charging like £10 for a bottle of cowpole.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, are you for real?
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who's seen this, if you see someone racketeering, report it. Trading standards. Let's get them either shut down because the owner does not deserve that business if he's going to be a racketeer and profit off of other people's misfortunes. And there should be a real hefty fine. Anything what that guy has, especially a chemist. If he's putting prices up like 100% more, 300% more, it should be just confiscated and given into the food bank, for the people who can't afford stuff, so they get stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. And soon, if you do that, if the government finds this chemist wherever he would be, and says, "Right, you've been racketeering, we're shutting it down," executive order, reappropriating stock. And do you know what I mean? And that would teach them all a lesson. Sorry. So I ain't got coronavirus on it. It's just like people racketeering, and you've seen them like people turn up in transit vans at markets, just selling toilet paper and buying stuff from the supermarket what's really cheap and putting it on their own shelves in the local shops. It's like, seriously, are you for real? It's got Asda's on there. Why are you selling it? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think there was like 10p tin of beans or 9p tin of beans, and they're selling it for 50p.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? Yeah, no. As I said, like in the other videos, the government just needs to be a lot firmer. Come in and say, right, we're going to freeze prices. The price of aspirins or toilet paper as of the beginning of the month is the same price as going to be next month. There's not a shortage. The factories are still churning it out. In fact, they're churning out more because of all the people panic buying.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can attest to that. Working in my shop. Sorry to interrupt there, but the shop I work in is certainly not one of the big ones, and the we've never had properly empty shelves. I mean, you the worst we've had is like the cheap stuff has been all sold out, and leaving only the slightly more expensive stuff. And like I've even had people asking for paracetamol, the cheapo paracetamol. All of those had gone. And one of the customers came up and said, "Oh no, you're all out of paracetamol." And I was like, "Oh no, no, look, there's loads of it here." This paracetamol is always £1 more expensive. It hasn't gone up in price or anything. And the customer goes, "Oh well, that's expensive though, isn't it?" And I'm just thinking, like, you want paracetamol? It's right there. You could buy it. And they're just like, "Oh no, it's £1 more expensive." It's like, "Oh okay." Like and this customer actually genuinely seemed like not erratic, but like you could tell that they were panicked about the virus and they were trying to stock up. Yeah. But like they only wanted to stock up as long as it was like 80p instead of £1.80.
Yeah. No, you see that on all the home brand stuffs of all the supermarkets, all the cheaper food. Well, you got, again, it's like the people who are well off, yeah, who I would say that they would have gone into Asda's, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, and they would never have bought before the economy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Never. You know, they would have gone for the big brands, you know, the ones like, so you can buy a tin of baked beans for like 10p, around that figure, depending like on which store it is. And then you can get the branded ones, you know, like Heinz or, you know, there's a couple of different ones that you can buy, the branded ones. And they would normally be about 30p to 50p.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when you go through, it's all of the cheap ones gone. And that's all of the people who've got money. And they're just like, "Oh, I have a crate of that because I'm going to need that." And it's like, okay. Well, all things comes to my mind is blazing saddles. The amount of beans what everyone's bought, you know, don't be around the campfire. You know?
I know, crazy man. We're actually selling big, 4 packs of beans at the moment on special offer in the shop that I'm at, and they're flying off the shelves as well. Still not completely empty, but you know, certainly a lot of them are being sold. That's another thing that irks me is people saying like that everyone is panic buying and like all the shops are empty and all that. It's like I bet that they only like check out one shop and then just go home, because like and generally like small shops that they will have something, especially if they're actually keeping on top of it, like our shop. Because it took us like a week to get back in the 9 packs of toilet roll, and there were loads of them as well. And they didn't even like all fly off the shelf either. Like there was a big stand saying special offer, and they didn't even fly off the shelf. So I don't know. It's always best to check. Like that's a prepping tip right there. Don't just check one shop. Check the small one.
You will find that it will be the bigger supermarkets, because for some reason everyone goes to the big supermarkets for everything. You know. Now we try and support our local shop. And we will go for the local shop for our bread, milk, you know, the stuff that we would generally use on a regular basis every day, like milk we get every day, bread a day and a half, you know, depending. And, you know, we try and support the shop that way, and obviously bits out of bits and pieces. So, but people, there's, I was talking to him, and his profit has gone up, and it's good, you know, because of what's happening. And he's seen people from the village who have never been in the shop, you know, coming in the shop buying toilet roll, hand wipes, you know, and they've never been in the shop. And he started seeing them come in the shop because they can't get it in the supermarket now. It's like, well, I've always said this, and it's like, if they were just supporting them a little bit more, except in emergencies, it will guarantee him being there all the time for them.
Aye, yeah.
And it's same with the coach. If people instead of going, because I know whereabouts you live, they will travel 20 minutes to get to the nearest supermarket, if that.
Aye.
Yeah. Sorry, my little girl's come back again. They would travel 20 minutes, and they could have just walked around the corner, picked up the milk. Even if it's just a pint of milk each day, that will soon mount up the amount of people in the village.
Moving on to another topic here. So something that we've spoken about before on this channel is the result of all SHTF scenarios, and that's civil unrest.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, I've said this before, I don't think on the channel, but I've said this before, that the UK and the US, they don't like being told what to do. And that's just an opinion. Feel free to disagree. But I don't know, the way I see things going, it could, maybe I'm just thinking of really the worst case scenario, but the way I see things going from a quarantine or a lockdown, if the government ever did say in the UK ever say to us oh, we're on lockdown now, I think that there would be a lot of people who would not be happy with being told what to do. And it doesn't help that a lot of people have lost their jobs. Loads and loads of people have lost their jobs, and they could be the sorts of people that commit possibly commit crimes like looting or even rioting if it ever did get that bad. Again, I'm probably thinking a bit too far in the future here, but this channel seems to have predicted the future quite well.
No, you're right. It will get worse, and it will come to a time where the government will have to think of, we're going to have to provide rations, especially as more and more people go off sick, if they're going for this herd immunity, a lot of people got to get it in a short space of time, and that's the way it seems to have gone, where they've still allowed things to happen. Obviously, they're stopped now, but the virus spreads a lot quicker than what the scientists are letting people know, And my example for that is one man travelled to the meeting in Thailand or China, went to France, stayed with his friends in France, and then come to England. He infected all of his friends in France, who went on to infect other people. When he come back, he infected 2 people at the surgery, plus other people, before he showed symptoms and then went into quarantine. That's not an R rate of 2.
No, not at all.
That spread far quicker than what people were saying. Yes, people need to, people are making sure surfaces are a lot more cleaner now. But it still spread a lot faster than what they believe. And when it does get to the stage where there's a lot more people off work, production will start slowing down. It's going to go on for a long while. And so when factories are not getting all the deliveries out and the shops are not getting as full as they used to be, people start seeing, there's going to be a shortage. Now, if you followed our advice and just spent £5 extra, it's not going to empty a shelf, And it's cross between. I went to the extremes and only bought certain lines to give the maximum amount of food for a period. But you can still get your frozen stuff, still get your meats in, still get your the brands that you like. but just that extra one tin, or extra frozen bag of chips that you can stick in the freezer. I was talking to one woman, and in Korea, where I live, there's a shortage of freezers.
Yeah.
No one can get a freezer now because there's a shortage. They can now, but over the weekend there was a shortage. And because everyone was going out buying freezers to store extra food, and it's like, wow, okay, so there's that was another shortage, but that's not being advertised because it's like a stupid thing to advertise. It's toilet paper, but.
Man, that's crazy that like a piece of equipment was actually like experiencing shortages, like freezers. Wow.
And so when the factories do start not being as efficient as they should be, and with the amount of people that's unemployed, they're going to be struggling to get food because food's not really, available as it should be. And so the government will start stepping in and saying, right, we're going to give out rations. America's already doing it with the Home Guard, National Guard, giving out the meals for people who normally would get free meals in schools. But the Army's giving out them. Once the Army's, I know the Army's on the streets in London, but when it goes nationwide and they're doing a similar sort of thing like Italy's moving, obviously the coffins round, obviously funerals are being behind closed doors, only immediate family, which over where we are in Northern Ireland, the funerals over here are massive. I saw one funeral a few months ago, and easily 100 people there. And the church was overflowing.
Oh yeah.
Amount of people was being, and there was a guy actually talking on a tannoy outside so everyone can hear. So the funerals over here are a lot bigger, and for them to suddenly be told you can't go, it's going to be a really big shock to them, because it would be disrespectful. So that would cause animosity,
Yeah.
And when there's a queue, and the way the youngsters are, where they don't care about personal space for anyone, they're going to be trying to squeeze, as you see, as they squeeze them into supermarkets when they first open. They're going to be trying to get to these rations, what the Army's giving out, and it's a boiling point. It really is. But that's,
definitely.
I know. I reckon. I mean, at the moment, the lockdown. What we got is self quarantine. We all got to isolate ourselves. So it's not 100% being enforced. But it will be. It will be, because people will still carry on, especially on a day like this. There'll be loads of people over the parks. You'll see the videos coming out. Loads of people will be going out, and they will crack down.
Yeah.
And people just don't like being told what to do. It's because we have had this freedom. People think they're going to lose it. And they think they're going to lose it. The conspiracy comes in, this is it. We're going to lose our freedom forever. Where in quite a lot of the Middle Eastern countries, and obviously like China, it's a different regime. There used to be a lot more dictators. So the older generation in some of these countries would know what it's like to be told what to do all the time. Where the younger guys have had the freedoms, and some of the countries have fought for their freedom. And when obviously as migration moves around and people move into different countries, they would have they don't want to be giving up their freedom, what they fought for. So when they've got another country saying nope, we're going to be on lockdown, it triggers thoughts of how it used to be in their own country, their original country, should I say. So they're going to be a bit rebellious against it, even though they probably would understand.
Yeah.
But it still brings back bad memories, you know.
It feels like the catalyst for just everything, like a societal breakdown, is just around the corner.
Yeah. But I've got a message to give out, and it's to Gigi. She would know who I'm talking about, and I know she watches the channel a lot. Behave yourself. Right. Do as you're told. Okay. I know I'm going to get a clip around the year if and when I do see her. But you know, some remarks have come back to me saying that I need to stop telling people to do things.
Oh, for goodness sake!
But you know, that's the thing.
Just advice.
It's just advice. I'm just looking out for everyone. So, DG, behave yourself. So yeah,
You've been told.
You've been told. Yeah.
Alrighty. Right. So, what you were saying before actually reminded me of something. A lot of these people that don't who have a problem with being told what to do, usually the sort of people that also say the big fallacy of, oh, it's just like the flu. It's a glorified flu. But I saw a video, and the link will be around here somewhere, of one of the doctors in Italy, and like you could tell he was very distressed, and he was adamant. He was saying like he had obviously heard this fallacy a lot before, and he was saying like, oh, it's not like the flu. It's more like pneumonia.
Right at the beginning, you know, it was like, oh, you know, and I've seen a lot of things on YouTube, on Facebook, you know, saying, oh, it's just a cold. More people die of this. More people die of that. It's like, seriously, you know, do you really think that China would lock itself down for over a month just because of flu? You know,
and then having Italy follow suit as well,
in France and Spain, it's not the flu, everyone. You know, it's a lot more serious. Hello.
I know.
Anyone in there? Eyes are open, ears are there, but no one. There's no lights on.
Yeah. You would think that these sort of naysayers would have stopped by now and like taken it a bit more seriously, but honestly, like I said in one of the previous videos, now that it's actually announced as a pandemic, we seem to be experiencing even more pushback than what we had before. And I just want to explain pushback a little bit here. That's what the psychology is called when so you may have had this before, like say like a movie is coming out and everyone talks about how good the movie is, and you might think, oh, I don't want to watch that movie. People just keep going on about it. Can't be bothered. Like that's what's considered pushback, and you're seeing that a lot with the coronavirus. It's like, oh, everyone's talking about it. It's all over my social media. Oh my god, and like that causes some people to resent hearing about it and just resent it, and then eventually maybe even to start ignoring it and just go about their daily lives, like just totally like not caring about it whatsoever. And that is one of the potential problems that like I thoroughly believe, because I personally know people that also believe that like, oh, it's all a conspiracy theory.
I think we all know people like that.
Yeah, absolutely. The funniest part is that like as a prepper, ever since I became a prepper, I've had some people say to me like, oh man, what you're saying kind of sounds like conspiracy theory. And it's quite kind of ironic that these people, the very same people, are saying stuff like, oh, coronavirus isn't actually as bad as the government are saying. They're all just doing it to try and control us. The government are trying to control us. And it's like, and I'm just there thinking, God, that sounds quite like a conspiracy theory you got there. And I'm the one here, like, with the factual evidence, and like on the same side as the World Health Organization, and apparently I'm the conspiracy theorist. Oh, I don't know, man. People, what can you do?
It's the problem with the media is they get after them get told what to say, you know, and there's no. I probably count on one hand media outlets who are truly independent.
Yeah.
Because you got some who, first of all, go with the narrative. Oh, the common cold is worse than this coronavirus. It's like there's a certain American channels what used to say, oh, it's the Chinese flu, Chinese coronavirus, or Wuhan virus, and now they're saying, oh, that's racist to say that. It's like you said it in the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like you're changing your story to fit with who, instead of just saying this virus, Novavirus, COVID-19. They didn't come up with it. They all they said was where it come from, and so they nicknamed it. You know, and so if they just kept with the facts, you know, you wouldn't have had the people saying, "Oh, that's racist," or you know.
Any final thoughts here, man?
You know, just be safe. You know, as you're in like semi-lockdown, just have your stuff at the door. So when you do come in, I've got some hand cream, you know, hand sanitizer, disinfectant spray. We are trying to get some pure alcohol, but there's been 3 places we went to, they've all sold out. Even though they took our money and we had to get a refund, but they're sold out.
Yeah.
So everyone seems to have gone on the same sort of bandwagon to do.
My wife did the same, and she had to request a refund through Amazon.
There will be a full lockdown. It will be it will get a lot worse before it gets better, you know, and a lot of people will unfortunately die, you know, because we're just not nowhere in the world is fully prepared to take in so many people at once, you know, and them thinking that the summer's here and it's gonna perhaps curb the coronavirus. No, because as I've said this I think on Discord, you know, they kept on saying about the summer coming, it might curb it. Well, we're in the northern hemisphere when it's winter. The southern hemisphere is in its summer. And what places are in the southern hemisphere? Australia. Oh, they've got coronavirus. They've got an outbreak. You've got South America countries. Oh, they've got coronavirus. They've got an outbreak. In the southern hemisphere, it's their summer, and they've got coronavirus. You know, and it's started to spread. So, you know, but the biggest thing is it's adjustment reaction. You know, people can't adjust to what's going on, and more preppers are quicker to adjust to reactions than non-preppers. You know? It's like when you burn your finger. You know, you burn your finger. All you have to do is move your finger that way, that much. You know, take your finger away from the heat, and it stops burning. But what you do, you overreact on something. The situation, and that's what's happening now. Where you've got the preppers who are, and a lot of people who are like-minded, but not really preppers. They will start taking on board, right, okay, this is what I need to do. Right, and they will be following the line of what preppers do. But then you've got some people who are, no, silly. Oh, I better take notice. oh, we better go and buy toilet paper. You know, and then they buy loads of toilet paper, and they're just overreacting to an adjustment what needs to be made.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's the moral of the story. Keep a good, clear, cool head.
And if something's happening in the world, don't say it's nothing. Just keep an eye on it and prepare for it. You know, we're not saying, you know, stock up all your cupboards with suntan lotion because it's going to be a really hot summer. Let's hope it's not a really hot summer, and I said this now, but do you know what I mean? It's like people going out and buying loads of suntan lotion because it's going to be a really hot summer. You wouldn't do that. You just buy what you need. You know, buy the extra one because there might be a shortage just to get you over into the some more. But that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty. Well, that's been another episode of the coronavirus coverage from us at Newbie Prepping. It's gone on probably a little bit longer than usual, but this is more of like a podcast sort of feel of some discussions and stuff that's just generally going on and various updates. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Please like, favorite, and subscribe. Join the Discord. You'll be more than welcome to come. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Alrighty.
Okay, stay safe. And goodbye.
Yeah. And have a good one. See you again. Bye-bye.